All right, Jared. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to come on and do this live session. I really wanted to do it because I thought it's so helpful, how in the trainings, people get to see, live sessions done. And I feel like that's so impactful and helpful for learning how to run the processes really well and deeply understand the processes. So I thought this would be I usually do a monthly live Q&A and some teachings on the processes on the AE page. But I thought that this would be a really awesome thing to do, especially with so many people going for certification right now. An awesome thing to do to give people an example of how to really hold just a good quality process, a powerful process with deep contact, going through the steps and the structure of the process. So yeah, kind of holding that balance. A lot of people like, I have to memorize this script, all this structure, but how to hold that balance of memorizing the script, knowing the structure, but also being in flow and being in contact with the person in front of you. And I know you've been certified in the AE fundamentals, and I had the pleasure of pre-testing you in your certification process, and you really had that down as well, of just like knowing the structure really well, having total process integrity, and then also just being in full contact and full presence with me. So actually, as we go into it, Jared, are there any tips that you could give to people that really helped you, achieve your fundamental certification?
The biggest thing that comes to mind was, I think, just booking my pre-test. I basically got inspired at the second Accelerated Evolution course, and I just decided that I didn't want to have the same thing happen where I talked about getting certified and then life happened, and then I ended up just putting it off for 6 months. So just as soon as I decided I wanted to do it, I reached out to Andrew and booked my pre-test, and then I booked it, I think, for maybe a month out, but that put the time pressure on me where it became real, and I didn't want to waste your time. So that got me actually taking it more seriously. It was just a mindset shift then. And then it was just, I think, just consistency. I could commit it. Even before that, I'd solo process myself at least once a day and stuck with that. So that helped me.
Nice.
Solo processing helped me really kind of start to understand the processes on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And then it was just a matter of reaching out to people to practice with.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And it paid off. It paid off really well. When you ran the process on me, I was like, okay, this guy knows his stuff. Amazing process. So yeah, that's really cool. We should have done this earlier. Now everyone's at the certification deadline and you're giving these great no, this is great. And I think this is going to be really supportive for everyone. So Jared, yeah, I'd love to run you through an aspectix. Excuse me. And I'd love for you to just share what's like something real for you right now that would be really supportive that we could do an aspectix for you.
Sure. Today I was bouncing between two things. One of them is a goal around just enrolling in the master coaching program at the May Accelerated Evolution. So I guess 6 months from now, enrolling in the master coaching program. Yeah. And then the other one is it's also kind of a goal, but I'm building I've been contracted to build the sales development team for a company right now, and just getting my team as soon as possible to a place where they're booking at least 3 meetings a week is kind of my number one priority right now. So that's the other one. So I've been kind of bouncing between the two.
Yeah, awesome. Are there any, so we could totally run an aspectix just directly on those goals. What I would really like to do, for the sake of simplicity and for people going for their fundamental certification, I'd love to run it on a problem or a challenge that you're having, but it can be something that's directly related to those goals.
Okay.
So what's something, say if your goal is to enroll in Master Coach by the May training.
Yeah.
anything in you, any challenges you're having internally, any limiting beliefs or feelings that you're experiencing that might hinder you from feeling that you can achieve that goal.
Um, I guess just the time frame to make to like financially be in a position, because for me it's not just earning the 20K, it's also, I mean, my agreement with myself and my fiance is also being like paying off a significant amount of debt prior to enrolling in the master coaching. So it's just, I think for me it's just the amount of money I would need to earn by May, and then I guess I feel like I have manifested the opportunity that can get me there, but I guess it's just that self-doubt of what if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? What if, yeah, what if I don't get there?
Right. So it's a self-doubt in your ability to reach the financial goals that you want to reach.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say I kind of go back and forth. It's like one day I feel absolutely confident. Next day I might have some self-doubt come up. I mean, I've been doing a lot of processing through that. So yeah, I would say
Right.
self-doubt.
So yeah, and to everyone watching, that's what you shared. We're focusing on, we're going to do an aspectics today, but there you just shared two polarities that would be great to go into an integration with. You could do that self-doubt and confidence, right?
Mm.
Simple universal could help create a good shift. So this is one of the things that for anyone watching, as you're doing sessions with your clients, you're paying attention to what they're sharing with you and looking for those things that you can tap into to help them make a shift. So right there, I make sure I notice that Jared mentioned, those polarities of self-doubt and confidence and how it can bounce, between them. And there's multiple processes we can use to integrate those polarities and give you more power of choice in that regard. In this instance, how would you feel about going into an aspectics around that doubt?
Um, Actually, I mean, I don't want to totally spin it around, but I actually had something come up as you were talking that is a
Okay.
challenge that I think is
Yeah,
related to both of them.
yeah,
So the one, it's, I find that when it comes to like employees that I've hired, that like my sales team essentially, I have been having trouble really kind of enrolling them into, I think it would be very valuable for all my goals if I could be using these processes in my coaching with them. And I guess that's been a struggle of mine, is bringing the AE processes into kind of the more business environment where it's not people who have come to me looking for coaching. It's more people I've hired who I'm their sales coach. So they're very open to sales coaching, but then bringing in these kind of processes. I don't know if it's just an internal thing with me of not being grounded enough in them, or me just thinking that they're not going to be into it. I've approached it a little bit, but haven't got a ton of reception. So I think that if I could break through that to be able to bring the AE work into working with my staff, I think that would shift a lot for me.
So is there anything internally that's stopping you from doing that?
Thanks. I guess self-doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're back to self-doubt. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Because you do a lot of amazing things. You have a lot of amazing capacities and abilities, right? So
Yeah.
maybe self-doubt is something that continues to creep in these different areas of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a self-doubt of like, what are they gonna like? I guess just not being grounded enough in it for that, or like worrying of what they're gonna perceive it as too woo woo or whatever, like because they are people
Okay.
more I hired for a job.
How strong does this self, when it's strong, how strong does it come up on a scale from 1 to 10?
I mean, it can, when it comes up strongest, I would say it can come up as like a at least a 7 or an 8 nowadays.
So whenever someone says a 7 or an 8 or an 8 or a 9, I always put the higher number.
All right.
That's what it is, if it comes up as an 8, that's an 8, right? And that's just I'm sharing that with others as well, you know. Um, so you shared a little bit about how this affects you, but can you reiterate, how does the self-doubt affect you in your work and your performance and in your life?
Um, well, I mean, it holds me back from really stepping into, like, consistently stepping into the man that I want to be and that I feel I need to be to achieve my goals. Right now, I'm talking professionally, but self doubt can also come up in other areas of my life. Just in my ability, another area it comes up strongly is my ability to kind of, I guess, deepen relationships with certain family members, for example. That has been a struggle for a lot of my life. But yeah, I mean, professionally right now, just especially at this stage of my life, have put myself into a bit of debt and financial challenges that I guess that doubt comes up, which prevents me from kind of always taking the actions I need to take and making the decisions I need to make to actually get myself out of this situation and back into a more financially free situation.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, what I hear you saying, just it kind of just holds you back in all these various ways.
Yeah.
This- Yeah. And then how do you want to feel instead? How would you rather feel instead of this self-doubt?
I want to feel confident. I want to feel um, just a trusting of the universe, trusting that things are going to work out. Um, feel at peace consistently.
Okay. Awesome, Jared. Well, do you feel ready to begin the process?
Yep,
I know you know this process well, so I think we can just go ahead and dive in. Do you feel committed to stay with the process through till the end?
I do. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Then. Go ahead and get comfortable and close your eyes as you're ready. Just take a couple easy breaths. Become centered in this moment. Comfortable. And now I want you to remember a time recently when you felt this self-doubt, when it was really coming up strong. And let me know when you have a specific memory.
Okay.
All right, enter that experience as though it's happening right now. See what you saw then, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, experience what you're experiencing then. And notice how this self-doubt starts to appear in yourself. In which part of your body do you feel it most strongly?
It's like the left abdomen area.
And if it had a shape, what shape would it be?
It's pretty. It's like I would say it's round, but not like a perfect circle.
How big is it?
Maybe between a golf ball and a baseball.
What color is it?
It's like white with some red mixed in.
How heavy is it?
A few pounds.
How old is it?
10 years.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is it now?
So it's showing up as like a 4.
Okay. Okay, so continue to keep your eyes closed. And Jared, this self-doubt is an aspect of yourself. And as such, it ultimately has a positive intention for you. So we're going to communicate with it and discover its positive intention for you. So right here, I'm going to have you repeat after me. Aspect, I know you wish the best for me because you're a part of me. Thank you. Manifest yourself as freely and completely as possible so that we can communicate. Then feel into your aspect and let me know when you have a compliance from your aspect.
Okay.
Now ask it, what goal do you wish to achieve for me? And accept the very first answer that comes up.
It said more peace.
More peace. Okay. Say thank you to your aspect. And then you and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of more peace. In your mind, create the situation where the goal of more peace is fully realized, fully achieved, and let me know when you've done that. The goal of more peace.
Okay.
Without you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Stabilize and ground in this goal of more peace being achieved. And then feel into your aspect and say to it, now that you and I have achieved this goal of more peace, what goal do you have for me that's a higher, greater, or even more spiritual goal? And share with me that very first answer that comes up.
Love.
Okay, say thank you to your aspect. And you and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of love. Again, in your mind, create the situation where the goal of love is fully realized, fully achieved. And let me know when you've done that. All of what that love would look like, feel like, and be like for you.
Okay.
Okay. Celebrate that and stabilize and ground in this goal of love being achieved. Really feel it. And then again, turn to your aspect, feel into your aspect, and say to it, now that you and I have achieved this goal of love, what goal do you have for me that's a higher, greater, or even more spiritual goal than love? And share with me the very first answer that comes up.
Unconditional love.
Got it. And this feels like a higher goal than the previous love.
Yeah, it feels higher.
Okay. Okay, you and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of unconditional love. All of what that means for you. In your mind, create the situation where unconditional love is fully realized, fully achieved. You and your aspect as a team achieving this goal. And let me know when you've done that. Let me know when you're there. the goal of unconditional love.
Okay.
Stabilizing ground in this goal being achieved. Then again, turn to your aspect and say to it, now that you and I have achieved this goal of unconditional love, what goal do you have for me that's a higher, greater, or even more spiritual goal? And share with me the very first answer.
I said the divine.
The divine?
Yeah.
Okay, say thank you to your aspect. And you and your aspect come together hand in hand to achieve this goal of the divine. In your mind, create the situation where the goal of the divine is fully realized. See this goal of the divine is fully realized. And let me know when you've done that.
Okay.
Stabilize and ground in this goal being achieved. And then feel into your aspect and ask, is there any goal that you have for me that's a higher goal than the divine? What's that first answer?
No.
Nothing higher than the divine?
No.
Okay. Go into that nothing that is higher than the divine. How would you describe this nothing?
Empty space.
Okay. Feel this emptiness, this empty space, merge with it, dive into it, become one with it. You should know that this emptiness is your deepest essence. Feel this emptiness expanding infinitely in all directions, in front of you, behind you, left, right, up, down. Expand it infinitely in every direction. And now we're going to go back down the goal chain and see how this emptiness, the experience of this emptiness as the essence of your being, changes or affects your experience of the previous goals. So, how does this emptiness as the essence of your being change or affect your experience of the divine?
It doesn't change. It's the same.
And how does this emptiness change or affect your experience of unconditional love?
It's what I am.
And how does this emptiness change or affect your experience of love?
The same thing.
And how does this emptiness change or affect your experience of more peace?
Yeah, it's always available to me.
And how does this emptiness as the essence of your being change or affect your experience of the original problem of self-doubt?
Well, I feel like the aspect is gone.
How do you experience this self-doubt now?
Well, I feel like where it was showing up, I feel like it's gone. But as we were coming down the goal chain, there was like a tension that came over like my chest and almost over my head. So not
Uh-huh.
sure what that is, but it
Okay.
made me start to kind of doubt the process, or or like if I had cleared it, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, so what's that opposition? Is that an opposition to the integration?
Potentially, yeah.
Would you call it a doubt or a tension? What's the best word for it?
Like constriction
A constriction?
or a heaviness.
What word has the most charge for you?
I guess what just came up is almost like a trappedness.
Feeling trapped. And when you feel trapped, what do you feel?
Fear.
Fear. Okay, so we're going to treat this fear as a new aspect. Okay, we're going to go into it and run it just like we did the last aspect. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to remember a time recently when you felt this fear. Let me know if you can, let me know if you have when you have a specific memory of feeling this fear. Or if a memory doesn't come up, just feel it fully right now.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna feel it right now.
Perfect. Okay. Notice how this fear appears in yourself. In which part of your body do you feel it most strongly?
It started to appear most strongly, like right in my chest area.
Okay, and what shape is it?
Almost like a triangle, like an upside down triangle.
How big is it?
It's about the size of my chest.
What color is it?
Gold.
How heavy is it?
It's like 30 pounds,
How old is it?
900 years old.
Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how strong is it?
So it's an 8.
Okay, excellent. I think we found a good aspect. Okay, so Jared, this fear is also an aspect of yourself, and as such, it ultimately has a positive intention for you. So as we did before, we're going to communicate with it and discover its positive intent. So in your mind, say to it, aspect, I know you wish the best for me because you're a part of me. Thank you. Manifest yourself as freely and completely as possible so that we can communicate. And let me know when you have a compliance from the aspect.
Okay.
Okay, now ask it, what goal do you wish to achieve for me? And share with me the very first answer that comes up.
To suffocate me.
Got it. Okay. Even though it is a negative goal, we're going to, in your mind, I want you to achieve that goal fully. You and your aspect come together to achieve this goal as fully and completely as you can, to suffocate me.
Okay.
You there? Okay, stabilize and ground in this goal of suffocate me being achieved. And then feel into your aspect and ask, what goal do you have for me that's a higher, greater, or more spiritual goal than suffocate me? Share with me the first answer.
To give me life.
Okay, say thank you to your aspect. And now you and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of give me life. In your mind, create a situation where the goal of life is fully realized, fully achieved. It's already done. Let me know when you're there. Give me life. You're there?
Yeah.
Okay, stabilize and ground in this goal of give me life being achieved. Then feel into your aspect. Say to it, now that you and I have achieved this goal of give me life, what goal do you have for me that's an even higher, greater, or more spiritual goal than give me life? Share with me the first answer.
Self-love.
Okay. Say thank you to your aspect. And now you and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of self-love. 100%. All of what that would look like, feel like, and be like for you. You and your aspect as a team achieving this goal of self-love as though it's already done.
Okay.
Stabilize and ground in this self-love being achieved. Then feel into your aspect. Ask it, what goal do you have for me that's an even higher goal than this self-love? Share with me the first answer.
Oneness.
You and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of oneness. See this goal of oneness as fully realized. And let me know when you're there.
Yeah.
Stabilize and ground in this goal of oneness being achieved. Then feeling into your aspect and asking, is there any goal that you have for me that's higher than this oneness?
Said God.
You and your aspect come together to achieve this goal of God. See the goal of God as fully realized, fully attained. Let me know when you're there.
Yeah.
Stabilizing ground in this goal being achieved. Celebrate that. Feeling into your aspect and asking, is there any goal that you have for me that's higher than this goal of God?
No.
Go into that nothing that is beyond God. How would you describe this nothing?
Just like, yeah, emptiness.
Okay. Feel this emptiness and then further merge with it. Dive into it. Become one with it. Know that this emptiness is your deepest essence. And expand this emptiness infinitely in all directions. And now we're going to go back down the goal chain and see how this emptiness changes or affects your experience of the previous goals. So how does this emptiness as the essence of your being change or affect your experience of God?
It doesn't.
How does this emptiness change or affect your experience of oneness?
It's the same.
How does this emptiness change or affect your experience of self-love?
It just seems like a more natural state.
And how does this emptiness change or affect your experience of give me life?
Yeah, it just feels like that. It is. It just feels like it is.
How does this emptiness change or affect your experience of the goal of suffocate me?
Feels a lot more distant.
And how does this emptiness as the essence of your being change or affect your experience of the fear that we started with?
I feel like I have a lot more power over it.
What is it now on a scale from 1 to 10?
Good. 2.
Maybe a 2. Okay. Is there anything in you that opposes this integration?
Like a very, like when you asked, like a very slight thing showed up here. I don't know if it's worth going through again, but
Share it with me.
yeah, there was something that showed up on my right side here, just very lightly.
Is that an opposition? Is that something that's going to stop you from?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it would stop me from integrating it.
Okay. Is there anyone who directly contributes or is involved in this fear?
No.
Do you feel that in the future this fear could come up again against your will?
Right now, I don't feel like, not against my will.
Okay. Jared, I want you to envision that there's the ball of light above your head. Ball of divine white light. And as you breathe, draw this light down to the top of your head, filling your body. And see this light filling the area where the aspects were, the two aspects that we went into. See this light really filling those areas. It's in your chest. In your abdomen. Filling those areas with light. And then expanding this light infinitely in all directions. And then as you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. You can take a drink of water if you'd like.
All right.
All right, Jared, what are you more conscious of now in relation to this self-doubt that we started with?
Well, for one thing, I've processed myself on it quite a few times over the last month, and it showed up weaker. So I feel like I've been making progress on it.
Nice.
One thing that came up was just, I did start to feel a bit of self-doubt just even in me being processed, especially because it was live. So I was just like, it kept coming into my mind, like, okay, this is live. I felt the time pressure. And then I was like, did I actually duplicate? Am I going to get stuck at the top? And then all of a sudden I just, like, at the last part, just went up into pleroma, and I was like, okay, like I can just trust a little bit more. But I did feel it coming up a little bit even in the process. But then in the second process, my mind was a lot more focused.
What else was good about this for you?
Yeah, I feel just especially the second one. I just feel like I feel lighter. So I feel like I just feel lighter and guess more inner strength and power.
What's good for others or someone else as a result of you doing this process?
Well, I feel just letting go of that fear and that doubt allows me to show up as a more authentic version of myself that can serve and connect more fully with other people.
Awesome. Anything else that was valuable that you'd like to share?
Yeah, just I'm glad that second aspect came up, because the first one, when I felt into it, it didn't come up the strongest. But then that second one, just like it like was totally just like, it was almost like energetically suffocating me, and it felt really intrusive. And so yeah, it was valuable to have that come up and then be able to go through something that wasn't even what we had been talking about.
Yeah, awesome. But it's sort of the deeper layer behind it.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's one thing you will do in the next 24 hours to help yourself live this integration more fully and this awareness?
I think just when that doubt does come in, like using, I think just even the doubt I was feeling in the process and then it working out, I think just anchoring to that and reminding myself of this lesson to be able to help me let go of that doubt and to trust.
Awesome. And then I think another thing that could be helpful for you is doing some polarity integrations.
Mm,
And maybe that you said you've been working on it. I don't know exactly what you've been doing. Maybe you've been doing that, but I think that could be helpful just to continue your integration,
yeah.
because there can be a habit to like just try to, stay with the more positive thinking, but the other thing might still come up sometimes. So
Mm,
when that happens, it's best to give attention to both integrate those polarities and
yeah.
then reducing or totally dissolving and eliminating the charge between them.
Yeah.
And I think so, using the AE processes for sales people, for sales teams is so effective for their performance.
Yeah.
So I just think, yeah, I really encourage you if you're feeling motivated to do that. It'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
So, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, Jared, thank you for taking the time and doing this. And
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for watching this interview. I hope you feel uplifted and inspired by what was shared. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel to make sure that you see all the other awesome videos that we have coming up.